Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro, and we're going to predict the BAFTAs, which are on Sunday, the BAFTA winners 2019. This is like the British equivalent of the Academy Awards. A lot of people have the philosophy that, you pick the British people for the award, and then you get them right. And it's not as true as people sometimes make it out to be. This is very evident in the category Best Picture. You got Roma versus The Favorite. The Favorite has not won Golden Globe, PGA Critics' Choice, didn't win anything. It is by far the most British movie here, but is that enough to make it beat the frontrunner Roma?
I'm going to say, Cole, that The Favorite is not winning here because I don't think it has a shot at the Academy Award for Best Picture, and all the movies that win this award generally have a shot at Best Picture. They're either the frontrunner or they're number two. So we had Boyhood winning. We had 3 Billboards. The Revenant, that was number 1 at the time. It would be weird for me to see The Favorite winning because it hasn't won any picture awards, and I think The Favorite is just a movie that isolates too many people. I think it's even more between Roma and Green Book because Green Book won the PGA. Can we underestimate, Cole? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but Justin, did they nominate Farrelly for director?
No, they didn't.
They did not. And number 2 is that this is the British Academy Awards. I mean, they understand Green Book the way that Americans do? Like, maybe not. They didn't nominate Black Panther for, anything. So, maybe they just don't really...
I mean, you're right. I think it makes Roma the frontrunner.
I understand what you're saying. I may put Roma too, but I do just think it's worth pointing out how British The Favorite is. You haven't had a movie that's, somewhat in the running for Best Picture in the past few years that is so British.
Perhaps British people have a different understanding of The Favorite and they like it more. When you talk to British people, maybe they just get The Favorite more. Maybe they like the sense of humor of it more than we do.
Well, we do know is that the Favorite may pick up more awards here than it's going to otherwise. I mean, costumes and production design, because Black Panther's been eliminated. Rachel Weisz may win. Olivia Colman may win. Screenplay. So that's a lot of awards.
And British film.
That's a lot of awards. And British film. That would be 6 potentially at most. A lot. So, and then is it not going to win picture because of Roma? Gold Derby currently has The Favorite at number 1 out front, and they've been right the past few years. And I also want to mention that Atonement in 2007, same with what the Golden Globes did, it beat out There Will Be Blood and No Country for Old Men.
But that movie won the Golden Globe for drama. The Favorite, have yet to see it win anything. I'm gonna say Roma right now.
I might go with The Favorite to counter you. Director, I think, is a no-brainer, though. Even if The Favorite wins Best Film, I think Cuarón probably will win Director. I mean, he's just been winning everywhere.
They don't really deviate here in terms of what, the most popular pick is. They like the showy shit. They like what the Mexicans have been doing for the past several years. Pick Cuarón. Best Actor, once again, Christian Bale doesn't have a BAFTA. The love for Rami Malek is very strong. I would have to say Rami Malek, and
He just won the SAG. He's off a SAG, Justin, and he's probably going for the Oscars.
It's one of those things where people like to think, is it the Brit?
Vice didn't get nominated much, first of all. And second of all, Bohemian Rhapsody was a little over-nominated, and it's technically a British movie. He's playing a fucking Brit, idiot. He's playing Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury's British?
You watched the fucking movie, you dumbass. We got to get experimental. Justin, everybody in that movie is British.
I was just thinking, period piece. Everybody from any period speaks British to me.
Like when Meryl Streep portrayed Margaret Thatcher, I think the fact that Rami's portraying a prominent British figure and is the frontrunner, he's going to get the award. I mean, I don't know what to say. Christian Bale is playing an American, so they kind of swap.
He's a little dry and slow, I would say, to win this award.
He's not going to win, so you don't have him either.
I have Rami. Then we got another tight race, but this one probably even tighter. Because you got Glenn, who's winning everything, and then you have Olivia Colman, who is a Brit that they freaking love, and they would probably, if I were British, I'd be like, oh my god, we gotta give this woman the award for this. How could we not?
But again, like The Favorite itself, Olivia Colman hasn't been winning Best Actress very much. However, looking at the data here, we find that Olivia Colman has won 3 BAFTAs for TV, not been nominated for film, and Glenn Close, who's riding on the overdue card, has only been nominated 2 times at the BAFTAs. This is her second, so she's not that overdue here.
I think she's less likely at the BAFTAs to get those votes from people who are like, I don't know who Glenn Close is, but I heard she's great and The Wife. if those aren't carrying her, I don't think she has as much of that wave pushing her around. I think in this case, the Brits going to take it.
I think a lot of these cases that we are saying that actually. Supporting actor, another tight race. So we've got Richard E. Grant, a Brit.
Formerly, like, pretty unrecognized, but he's been working in the industry for years. This might be an award that the British people want to give to him.
But on the other hand, Mahershala Ali, was snubbed for Moonlight way back when. So this could be a little bit of a redemption reward for him. I mean, is he going to have 2 Oscars and no BAFTAs? That could be the case. And Richard E. Grant is so great in the movie. He is overdue for winning one of these major awards. So I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm going to have to go with Richard E. Grant. And again, I'm going to go with a British person. I don't know.
Despite the fact that Mahershala is sweeping, I would go with Richard E. Grant here. I would be a little upset if he couldn't win this award because I like when they split a little bit, and I think he's Oscar worthy. And then we have another race that could go one of many ways, but
I think this one's more locked up than the other acting races, and I'll tell you why. So, you've got Regina King's not here. Emily Blunt for A Quiet Place won the SAG would probably also be a very viable pick considering she's British and she is not here. So you have who is next? Is Amy Adams really gonna win for Vice? I don't think so.
She couldn't win the SAG over Emily Blunt, so she's not that strong, I think.
No, and then Rachel Weisz, I mean, in The Favorite, Rachel Weisz has not won a BAFTA, and she's won an Oscar, and she's British. And they're going to love The Favorite. So I think they're going to give it to Rachel Weisz. I don't see why they would give it to anybody else, honestly.
I have Margot Robbie as being like a dark horse weird upset.
This is not even a possibility in my mind.
And then we have Amy Adams who maybe, but we haven't really seen a lot from her.
Amy Adams just been people saying oh, is she going to win because she's overdue? And it's not happening. So she's just she's a happy nominee is all she is.
Yeah.
And then original screenplay. So Green Book has been unfortunately upsetting The Favorite at pretty much every turn. The Favorite was ineligible for WGA, so it doesn't even have a shot to win there. But I think that The Favorite seems safe to win at the BAFTAs.
I don't know why it hasn't been winning up to this point, so I think it'll go with The Favorite, because the British people are going to love that shit. And they like The Favorite more than the Americans do. And they're going to give a British film, and they're going to give it. So I think it's The Favorite here. The writer of Green Book was known for making Islamophobic comments. They definitely celebrated on the rooftops when the Twin Towers came down. One of those people called.
Yeah.
Actually, the son of the character that the movie's based on wrote Green Book.
Can you believe that the son of the character the movie's based on is racist? What a shocker. But again, Green Book's a movie about American history and The Favorite's about British history, and The Favorite has a better screenplay, so which one's going to win? You tell me. It's The Favorite. Let's keep going. Adapted screenplay, so the 2 of them are in the Best Picture category, and Star is Born is not winning screenplay anywhere, and BlacKkKlansman may win the Oscar. So I think BlacKkKlansman should be winning here.
I think BlacKkKlansman is the most obvious pick, but I could see an upset from If Beale Street Could Talk because that movie did win the Golden Globe, and I think it won the Critics' Choice. So I don't know how much they like
the Golden Globes and the Critics' Choice nominated Beale Street for picture.
It didn't get a lot of nominations. Regina King wasn't even nominated, so they didn't really express any passion for this movie outside of these more obvious categories. We don't know if they like Beale Street. That's all I can say. BlacKkKlansman, they nominated it.
Cinematography is Roma. It's always been Roma. It's always going to be Roma. So we're next category. Costume design. It's very convenient that Black Panther was just kicked out of here because that was really the only competition. The Favorite's winning.
Film editing. I think it's tricky because First Man's in here. Fantastic editing. Really fantastic. Academy, you guys snubbed the shit out of that one, didn't you? You guys snubbed the shit out of that movie, didn't you?
But then the Eddie Awards. The Eddie Awards, who did not snub the shit out of the editing category, still gave their award to Bohemian Rhapsody. So, is Bohemian Rhapsody going to win all the editing awards? I'll tell you this, though. The BAFTAs are a little different on editing. One noticeable trend that I pointed out is they give it to movies about racing. They gave it to Senna, a documentary about racing. They gave it to Rush, a movie about racing that was not nominated at the Oscars. None of those were. Mad Max wins, but that was obvious. And then Baby Driver wins editing, also like a car movie. Is there a trend here? Yes, there's obviously a fucking trend here. So I would say that the BAFTAs tend to like movies with a lot of fast editing. Movies where vehicles are hurtling at fast speeds. And this leads me to believe that First Man may be winning this award.
I might change mine to First Man. I have Bohemian Rhapsody because I just see that as like getting momentum, and it was also nominated for some awards. But First Man has the best editing, I think. I guess I would just go with that. But Bohemian Rhapsody could win. If it does, I'll kind of freak.
Bohemian Rhapsody, I think, is winning the Oscar, but you know,
Yes,
First Man,
it's going to win the
can we
Oscar.
please just redeem that for editing, please?
Makeup and hair, Vice. I don't know why it wouldn't be Vice.
I mean, some people think The Favorite maybe, but that's, you know, that's just hair. It's not really, there's not too much.
And they made her
makeup.
look like a badger. Production design, no Black Panther.
And
That
again-
means The Favorite
again.
is winning production design. Very, very
But
easy.
this may not repeat at the Oscars, because Black Panther, you know, winning costumes, production, Critics' Choice, I think that was a big deal. I think people are underestimating how big of a deal that is. This doesn't mean anything necessarily, but The Favorite's winning here. Best score, If Beale Street Could Talk. Again, they snubbed First Man. Not too much competition here. I mean, Mary Poppins Returns, like, really? For A Star Is Born, it's not really a score.
If Beale Street Could Talk is just clearly like the best score, I think. Mary Poppins is very extravagant, so that could upset, but I really hope, and I think it should go to If Beale Street, and that's what I'm predicting.
Best sound.
First Man,
First Man.
It has the best sound. Could it go to Bohemian Rhapsody or A Quiet Place? Maybe, because they kind of still do their own thing in this category
I don't
too,
think it
but
would
not
go
that
Quiet
much. I
Place.
think it's First Man. Like visual effects, Black Panther number 1 on Gold Derby, but I'll tell you what. The fact that it got snubbed for like the 2 biggest VFX awards, the Oscar and the VFX Society, make me think there's no way it's winning. Right? Am I not crazy? I think there's no way Black
won
Panther's
the Critics'
winning.
Choice, but
People obviously have a
BAFTAs
fucking bone to
didn't
pick.
even like the Black Panther very much. Avengers: Infinity War actually won the Visual Effects Society, so that is looking to win the Oscar at the moment, which is kind of strange. Because Avenger movie never won the Oscar, but this year's
It's
kind of weak
Marvel.
in visual effects because you don't have like a Gravity, Life of Pi movie. It's just obviously winning. You don't have a Blade Runner.
Avengers, probably the safest bet because it won that VFX award. But Ready Player One, maybe. Black Panther, still maybe. First Man, not as convinced because it doesn't have that many visual effects, so it's not as
I would
impressive.
still say that First Man could win visual effects here because they might not be as crazy about this Marvel shit as we are, and they might,
no, but,
you know.
but Ready Player One is not a Marvel movie.
Yeah, but with Ready Player One's still a CGI American fuckfest.
Sure,
I would say
that.
Avengers is just a safe pick. Animated feature, we're going with Spider-Verse here. There's no reason to doubt it at this point.
Next.
Documentary
This
feature.
one's an interesting category. I'll tell you why. Because you might say, well, Free Solo, that's going to win the Oscar. Perhaps Free Solo is just the easy frontrunner. Let me point out a movie that's actually number 4 right now. It's called They Shall Not Grow Old, and this is going into a wide release now. It's done very well at the box office. It's a documentary that did not qualify for this year's Oscars. Maybe it'll be at next year's Oscars. I don't know. But it's been doing very well in the box office. Great reviews. Peter Jackson made this movie. They brought old film to life with sound and coloring techniques that they have never used before. They love the story. It's important. And it's a British, too. It's a British production. This means that this movie could win. So
This could be one of the big
before
surprises
you
of the
put
night.
Free Solo at number 1, which could still win,
Instead
realize
of
that They Shall Not Grow Old is going to have people like beating the drum because this movie's like kind of peaking right now. It's actually like at a peak because it's doing so well at the box office. I'm going out on a limb a little
I
bit,
actually
but I'm
might,
going number 1.
I might side with you. The fact that it's a British movie, I just think is the icing on the cake, and I think that if this movie was in competition for the Oscar, I think maybe it would win the Oscar. I think it's just because people aren't used to seeing this movie competing because it didn't qualify this year. But, you know, if you do consider that in the race as a serious movie, then I think it can beat Free Solo.
Foreign film, Roma. Why would it not be Roma?
British film is going to be the favorite because it's the most British film, like, ever. Bohemian Rhapsody is also British, but it wasn't nominated for Best Film, so why would you bet against it?
Letitia Wright is the rising star that you should pick because...
Why? Because she's British.
Yes,
And
this
the
matters
past,
here.
what is the past 4 winners have been British? Maybe
Last
more
year
than
you
that.
had Timothy
This-
Chalamet competing with Daniel Kaluuya. One of them is British. Can you guess which one won? It was Daniel Kaluuya. 'Cause he is British.
You'd think Timothy Chalamet might win because he was actually getting probably they're both getting a lot of praise for their performances, but I mean Timothy was more in winning conversation than
And
Daniel
he's
Kaluuya.
total like rising star.
Yeah, he's rising star material, and yet Daniel wins. Why? British.
And you can see this every single time they give out the award. It doesn't matter who the front runner is; they're going to give it to the Brit.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Stay tuned.